You know that again when you step away from your computer, you just feel like you've gone code blind. Like, I can just see code. It's just, my God, I've done so much programming this morning. I finished off one of the user stories that I wanted to do this sprint. So that's now all sorted and in the bag. What I do need to do is do the code reviews and whatnot. And I have a lot of work to do over the next probably 2 days. It's going to be a busy weekend, which I hadn't really considered. But, well, the thing is, when I started this sprint, I didn't consider I was going to be doing what I decided to do this week, which is focus on building out something a bit new for Very Alice. And that's how I spent the other 2.5 hours this morning, of just like fiddling around with CSS, adding something to the site, and just like trying to fettle with it to make it look good. And now when I've had lunch, I'm going to go actually put some real content in it, because it's just Lorem Ipsum at the moment. So I have, the whole idea of these sprints is making sure that I do a certain amount of work. It basically means that I'm deprioritizing things that aren't in the sprint, like emailing clients. There is, to a certain extent, there isn't much point while I'm prepping this thing to launch next week. But the whole idea of this, like committing to do something in a week, is I have to do it. So to figure it out, and that's why while I want it to be an achievable task, I don't necessarily want it to be too easy. So we've got a lot of work to do this week. The other curveball of this is Laura bought me Formula One, and I'm a bit addicted and I kind of want to play it. So gotta get work done. Look at this glorious, glorious sunshine. I barely recognise it. It's been so wet and miserable recently. Oh, it's so warm. I've gone down the wrong route here. I just spun it up with real messages from the actual analysis. And I've cocked it. I've cocked it up a little bit. I forgot that I was actually getting an array of things and not just a single one. And I've kind of gone on the assumption that what I've got is like the results of the whole thing, not like the individual results of the things that make up the whole. So this story is not finished. Oh, god damn. That is quite the cock up. So I've just mapped out like how I'm gonna get this to work. And now, to be fair, this makes a lot more sense. So yeah. Yeah, it makes so much more sense now. Now I've realised that that's where I've gone wrong. But I've also finished. So, shit. Right, reset. Let's have an early cup of tea, and then we can go out for a walk later. We're going to do something else for a little bit. We're going to do more marketing stuff. Look at that absolutely gorgeous sky, and then you just go, oh shit, look at that. I think it's supposed to be quite wet today, so I'm making the most of this walk. I normally wear headphones, but I woke up this morning and listened to podcasts, but I woke up this morning with a horrendous ringing in my ear, to the point where I thought it almost sounded like someone was vacuum cleaning, hoovering nearby, and I'm like, what is that noise? It sounded like the old boiler, you know? Feels like it's faded away, but I'm going to try and look after my right ear today. So that's my plan. Otherwise, yesterday I did a lot of work yesterday. I spent a lot of time working, but I feel like I didn't get done what I wanted to get done. And the problem is I've taken on two things. One, I had a setback, and now I've taken on this other thing, which has taken up a lot of time and is taking longer than I thought. And so it's really jeopardizing my sprint, you know? And it's hard to know what to focus on, particularly. There is a part of my brain that's like, well, this weekend's basically a write-off. So, it's not good though, it's not good. In theory, I should focus on one or the other. But yesterday, the thing is, yesterday I spent a lot of time trying to fix styling bugs, which exist on the current site, but you can't tell because there isn't another thing there. So yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to approach today. Like I say, I want this. I feel like this is more important than my sprint, definitely. It's just difficult to do. How long did it take me to launch code reviews as a service on the site, man? It took me ages. I'm trying to do it in like 2 days. I don't know how vague to be about it because I don't know when this gets uploaded in relation to when that happens. This sun is beautiful, man. But yeah, so I'm just trying to figure it out, you know. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. I feel like I'm beating myself up for yesterday for no reason because I did a really good job yesterday. It just was a really good job on something that takes a long time, and you don't really get much like visible value out of it, but you do get value out of it. So shut up, Jamie. Keep walking, relax, just freshen up that head, get thinking, get back, smash it out the park. What I'm trying to do right now is figure out like how to, like I've got one of these problems where I know how to communicate it and sell it like out loud, but putting that down on a website is complicated, you know? This kind of problem is either one of those things where I need to kind of like distract myself and then come up with ideas because I'm not trying to come up with ideas, or I need to go somewhere where there are zero distractions and then I just type. But the problem is with website, that second one works with blogs, but it doesn't, because then you can like go through and iterate over it. But the problem with websites is it's supposed to be like short and concise, so you can't just type the problems away, you know? You can't just type shitloads of writing and then expect to have something out of it. Also, I'm really hungry this morning. I said, didn't I woke up with a ringing ear and then a huge ass nosebleed when I was in the shower. So I'm currently writing, I'm like kind of brainstorming ideas on my whiteboard. And then every now and again, like little snippets come to me and I write it down in a Google Doc. And then otherwise I'm kind of like trying to walk around. I'm doing stuff around and about, you know? So Dad is coming this weekend. He's coming down to visit. First time in a year, actually. So I'm just doing things like slowly putting away washing while I'm thinking, you know? While my little nougan's running. I really don't know why I'm struggling with this as much as I am. I tried to go out. What I did was I went out for a walk, before lunchtime walk, because I needed to go and get some bread, where I went to the library, which is like just up the road, and is open for quite long periods of time. And I was like, maybe I could go there as like a kind of a close co-working space that isn't too far away, but is like quiet enough for me to get work done, you know, and it isn't like a pub or a cafe. And you can get like this card that lets you in like out of hours. So they have like, I think it's something like 8 till 8, which is pretty good. And I went there to go see if I can get the card, and I couldn't because it was closed. So you need a card to get in. Not sure why it wasn't staffed, but it wasn't staffed. So that didn't work out. I mean, I got my bread, but otherwise came back, had some lunch. I'm still like really struggling of how to do this, but I've had too much time off now. I can't I just don't know what to do. I just can't like figure it out. I can't figure out how to do it. And today is kind of feeling like yesterday, where I end up taking huge chunks of time out of the day, trying to figure it out, like taking time out as I try and think about it rather than do it. Or like completely separate your brain. Oh. I hate kind of feeling, I don't like this feeling I've got about this. Like, I feel like it's like a good idea that I just don't know how to communicate it. And I feel like it's something that I need to do, but obviously being unproductive at this makes me not productive at anything else as well. Like at the same time, like I'm nuking everything for the sake of this, but this is important. I shouldn't really have half an hour out, but I'm going to have my half-hour walk inside since I've had my other walk. And I'm not being productive, so I need to do something else to be productive again, but I might try and move downstairs and go on my laptop. I think that might be the best course of action at this precise moment in time. Final episode of The Circle tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to it. as much as I don't want the circle to go away, I do want it to go away. I wish it was on earlier on in the day, that's all. Like 9 o'clock till 10, that's fine. 10 till 11 is excessive. Especially for 3.5 weeks on the trot when I'm waking up, well, going to bed usually around midnight. I'm waking up at 6. Otherwise, I actually did get some content out from my website, working on my laptop downstairs. So I might carry on doing that tomorrow, and I might get there. We do have some stuff. Well, someone's coming around tomorrow, but we'll get there. This hasn't been the best week for me, but I have picked up. Like, I've got a... Is that rain? Is it raining? Well, it is absolutely hammering it down, and it's bedtime for what? Someone is coming around between 10 and 11 to give us a quote on like what we need to do to solve the damp problems in this house. So we have like quite bad penetrating damp that's obviously coming from the exterior of the house and like coming through. It's all on this back wall. So last year there was like sun, and then like over summer it dries out a little bit. But the problem is over summer, whenever it rains, you don't have the heating on to dry it out properly. We've run the heating for a little bit, and there's always been patches like here. That's always been there, and this wall has always been a bit flaky. But there's like scenarios where it's really starting to like bubble up here and here, and upstairs is really bad. We never actually noticed any problems upstairs last year, but this year, I'll show you in a minute. The back room is just like trashed. So we really need to like address it. We need to figure out a solution for it, but we just don't know what that entails. We think we need to fix the external render in some places, but I think we might need like injections in some of the walls to damp proof it. But like, I've literally no idea. So I contacted a couple of damp people. Like, this is one of them things which you don't appreciate when you're renting. Like, I don't even know how to find people like this. Like, boiler people are relatively easy to find. You just Google boilers and you're set, right? But like, this is a lot more complicated. Let me show you upstairs while my tea's brewing. So we started to notice when it was really raining, these little like patches here. When we bought the house, this was the most recently redecorated room, and we think we figured out why. These patches here. And then when we looked at these patches, we realized this huge patch down here where the paint is literally just flaking off the wall, and it's right next to an electrical socket. So the crane over there. Why is there a crane there? Maybe someone's getting a hot tub put in or something. And the only other weird thing is that this room has nothing. Like, this room's fine. It's all that room and the kitchen, the back wall. Even the extension is fine. So it's weird. It's weird, to be honest with you. This extension here, there's no sign of it anywhere, with the exception of here. That's it. Like, although arguably the only real exterior walls are this one and that one, because there's a shed there, and we will never see anything in this room anyway, because this room is like got plastic walls. But anyway, so someone's coming around. The moral of the story is they're coming around between 10 and 11. Which is a pain in the ass now, because I'm just going to be on guard, waiting for them to arrive up until that point. Because oh, hello, there's a van. Is it him, please? No, but that's exactly my point. Every single noise I hear is going to sound like someone coming to check it out, you know? And that's stressing me out already. And it's only been like 5 minutes. Otherwise, I'm making a lot more progress on content for the site. This morning, I'm working a lot more from my laptop. And then every now and again when I finish a chunk, I'll go upstairs, put it on. Atlas is running the website at the moment. I could run on this, but can't not be asked, fam. The truth is, I haven't got Mongo installed, and my blogs use metadata from Mongo, and it fails the health checks on the startup. So it won't boot. Lol. Also, when I initially started working from home, I was really good at like not snacking, apart from just the 3 meals, like lunch, breakfast, lunch and dinner, with the exception of I'd hold back my chocolate bar from lunch to be just after my afternoon walk. But I've slipped. I've started having biscuits with my tea in the morning, and I'm hungry now. And usually the problem is that when I'm hungry and I have tea, it makes me feel sick. So I'm hungry now, so I'm trying really hard. I'm gonna be a good boy. It might not even be a van. It might be a car. You could park whatever it is a while away and walk. Well, it's been and it's gone. Do you remember when we had the boiler people around and it freaked me out because I'm like, oh fuck, this is such a nightmare. Yeah. This is like existential nightmare. This isn't just bad. This is like real fucking bad. Oh, Jesus Christ. Right, well. We may need a new game plan, let's put it that way. Us patching it may not be very successful. So, yeah, alright. Tasty. We were planning on like attempting to patch up the back ourselves. Because like effectively fixing render, which we know we've got damage to the render outside, isn't like a crazy difficult job. But obviously there's no point doing that if there's a problem inside, and also we didn't know that would necessarily fix it. So yeah, it's oh holy shit, man. Just got off the blower with Laura again, and it's relaxed me a little bit. Obviously the guy that came out, it felt like it was all very doom and gloom with the guy that was here. We've got another quote coming in next week. And it's effectively we need to fix the external problem and then do a load of work inside. Basically take a lot of this room back to brickwork, including upstairs. Basically take the back wall back to brickwork, replaster it, put some sealant in it, all that shit. Now we think that we could half that job, fix the render on the back of the house by getting someone who fixed render rather than a damp person. Fix the render, seal the problem so there's no more water getting in. That's problem number one. That's the root cause of all of this. Do that. That's going to be several £1,000s, but at least it's half of the figure we were just given. Then invest £600–500 and burn a couple of trees, you know, from the rainforest, by investing in a nice new boiler and just living in Barbados for a couple of for the winter, basically. Just really, really dry out the wall, like run all the radiators, basically all winter, to really like attack the wall. Once you've stopped water getting in, surely you can just heat up the inside to such an extent that you've dried up the external in such a long period of time that you dry up the external. Now spending 3 months with the heating on full blast, well, not on full blast, on a reasonable temperature, is significantly cheaper than doing all this. So if we fix the cause, the root problem, maybe we could fix the existing damp problems with paint, like just like anti-damp paint. Well, no, with running this for however long and then running like a sealing paint on it from the internal. So we've got ideas. We need to figure out if we can pull in more quotes from different people. But this is like, the figure he gave us there was pretty fucking earth-shattering, especially considering we just spent however much money on a boiler. And it wouldn't have been so earth-shattering had I had a real job. You know? Like, we have the money. We have the money. I personally have the money, let alone Laura. Laura has loads of money as well. She doesn't have as much as me, but has loads of money. Problem is, all of my money was pre-allocated to running Borealis. That's like the bit that's really like scary, I guess. Anyway, that's going to affect momentum a little bit today, but let's get some work done and get some lunch, and then try and pull ourselves out of this. I'm really glad Dad's coming tomorrow. Partially. I'm like, Dad hasn't been to this house in a year. I don't know whether or not he's gonna seal this and like kind of make us feel bad. Not deliberately, but make us feel bad because we shouldn't have bought the house. Or he'll just be like, it's fine, every fucker has this, you know? Like, in Dad's like blasé kind of way. He's changed a lot in the past couple of years. He used to be so fucking blasé. He used to be a bit like me. I'm quite blasé with things. But he used to be like so blasé and like nothing's ever a problem, that like you could just mention things to him and he'll be like, oh yeah, fuck it, yeah, happy birthday, you know. But now I'm not sure whether or not he effectively make us feel guilty. So not feel like, you know what I mean, like, or embarrassed, I guess it's probably a better word. Anyway, let's reset the brain. After mail, man, I'm having a whale of a time today. Firstly, obviously, the bad news earlier. I've had lunch. I've like sat down. I was getting on with some work. I'm actually doing all right. I'm building out like a timeline thing, which is working out all right for me. At least like on a first draft. I'll get Laura to proofread it and whatnot. Slash proofread it again later. And then I can focus on some other parts of the page, which is all good. It's all going well. And I get a letter through the door about changing my employment status. And like, particularly student finance are pissed. They want to know where I am, what I'm doing, why the heck I'm not paying them anymore. So then trying to go through the process, I mean like fucking hats off, dog. They must have the most secure logon system in the world ever. I couldn't get in at all. I'm like, so I found out this piece of information, which I thought I'd stored everything away, like nice and safe, so I could find it all again. But I type in this bit of information, and then like they send you a access code which you type in. I couldn't remember my password, so I reset my password, even though I'm 99% sure it was the one that was in LastPass, but anyway. I think the problem is that there's like, the government's login stuff all looks the fucking same. Like there's like 10 different variants of it, but they all look the same, so you can't tell which is which. So I have like a couple of things for this and for that and for this, and then I have all of the company stuff as well. And I'm like, I just don't know what to do when, you know? So I go through the process, reset the password, log in, then I have to find a unique number because I've reset my password so they don't trust my email address anymore. Cool, happy birthday. Get through to it. They then send an access code to my phone. Well, apparently to an app. I'm not downloading your bullshit app. So I get the text message from my phone, type in the code, and then it's like, what's your secret answer? And I'm like, well, what was the fucking question, dickhead? And then I might be able to tell you. So I'm trying to remember. It's asking for like 3 characters of my secret answer. And I'm trying to remember what the question was so that I could have even a guess at what my answer was. And then I do that enough times that it locks me out and I have to ring them up. And ironically, when I'm ringing them up, they're asking for the same information. However, by this time I found an email which they'd sent me, which had my secret answer in it, which wasn't anything I'd ever done. It was just a random string of letters that they obviously self-generated. I'm like, why ask me for a secret answer if it's not an answer? It's a generated code that you gave me. Like, you're making me think it's like, you know, like the bullshit things like mother's maiden name and all that crap. And I'm like, oh, is it that one? Is it this one? Anyway, long story short, I have to wait while some things reset. I then tried to, the thing I need to do, I need some extra information out of company's house. Company's house is down, slash won't let me log in. So every time I log in, it's like an issue happened, please try again later. So I'm like, right, fair fucking play. So I'll do it later. But my God, you watch now in however many days time. Oh, that guy's got a new car. In however many days time when I try and do this again, all my password, I'll have to need completely new details. I have to reset it all again. What pain in the ass. Like guys, come on. You don't need to have all of these different sets. Like you just, what's the point in having all of these security things if I bet you the vast majority of people, because you never have to log into the government system, never, ever in a million years. So just make it a password and an email address, and then maybe do two-factor authentication with a mobile number, fine. Don't throw all of this other bollocks in there, you know, because people are going to forget it. And then it's only as secure as your reset route. And your reset route only requires my email address. Everything else, well, no, email address and my phone. So just make it that anyway. But I've worked places before that, like, focus so much on security that they try to be secure to the point where they kind of just make themselves less secure. Like, two-factor authentication with a phone is like as good as it gets, man. Like if it's good enough for Google, it's good enough for you. Holy shit. I mean, like maybe if you really care, have a secret answer to a secret question for reset purposes only. But otherwise, like, and then also, the thing is, you need a way of working around the scenario when they inevitably forget their answer. Because anything that doesn't come up all the time, you're gonna forget. So there's not even any point in that, personally. But anyway. I've got the heating on, firstly in an attempt to dry out the walls because it's pissing it down. That is literally the only reason. There isn't a second. I'm not that cold. I would have survived, but god damn it. Oh, right, I'm off. I'm gonna have a tea break. Oh, fucking hell. This week's just been a bit of a write-off. It's really annoyed me a little bit, you know? I really need to try my best to enjoy this weekend and not let it... Because I know I'm not going to get any work done either this weekend. What I might do is try some Formula 1 because I'm 99% sure I'm going to crash. So might play Formula 1 for a little bit to try and like reset my brain because it's just worrying about everything other than work at the moment. And then get back into it a little bit. But yeah, I need to try my best to like enjoy this weekend and not let the fact that I'm not doing work and like a couple of things that are just a bit off, and like the fact that this week was a bit off, affect next week, you know? But it's hard work, man. It's hard work. And I need to focus on getting this site thing done as well. But I've had a bit of a brain lock. I want a brainwave. That would be ideal. I'm stressed out, man. I need to chill out. Oh fuck. I'm calling it a day. I might like tinker on my laptop later, but I mean otherwise, let's just call it. Fuck me. It's not been a good week for me. Not gonna lie, boys and girls, I need to nip this video in the bud because I should have ended it yesterday. Watched the circle last night. Really happy Tim won. Really happy Sammy lost. Kind of disappointed Woody didn't win though. Otherwise, that's about all from yesterday as well. I came 14th in that Formula 1 race and then second in the race after, so minor improvements. But like I say, I need to end this video, wrap it up, because tomorrow, or today, is day 3000. What?